Okay, welcome to the Collecting the King Show, episode 5. And this episode is called Anything That's Part of You. I'm really happy about how well the show is doing. It's not gangbusters. I know we're not up in the thousands of views and everything, but, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Before I also get going, I want to thank my wife, Carol, who is behind the camera. Say hi. See, she's waving, like you're going to see that, folks. She's waving from behind the camera. So here we are. I want to go right to the comment section. So let's start with a gentleman by the name of John Bull. He wants to know if we'll be doing a show on bootlegs in the future. Okay, well, the answer is yes, John, we will. But I'm not much of an authority on bootlegs, to be honest. I've heard there's a really, really great book about bootleg albums overseas. I've never seen the book, but I'd love to check it out. And I hear it's a great, great book, and probably done by somebody with a lot more authority and experience on bootlegs than myself. But we definitely will do a show based on what I do know about the bootlegs that I've experienced in my life. Next, we have B. Quinn, who asks, and I'm reading directly here, are the music on vinyl LPs legitimate Sony authorized reproductions, or are they on the same level as Friday music repros? Well, that would be a great question for my buddy Johnny B, because he just so happens to have every Friday music release in his collection. I do recall when we were in Memphis one year, we usually always ran into Ernst Jorgensen, who's the head of Elvis's music in Sony BMG and head of a lot of the projects, including the new box set. He had told me once that the music on vinyl pressings were directly associated with RCA Sony, whereas the Friday musics are just licensed to a company in California here in the United States. I hope that answers your question. Then Cut 1986 wrote, hi Robert, I just received a 1981 Yellow Label Guitarman Faded Love 45 today. I don't think it's listed in the 2017 price guide. Are you aware of it? We do miss stuff, so it's not like everything is exact in that book, and we will make sure that it's in it the next time. And in answer to your question, I would say because it's not in the book doesn't necessarily make it rare, but I would definitely say that it would be priced around the same value as the other 80s promos. Let's get started here. Okay, so today's topic is anything that's part of you. Specifically, we're going to be talking about bonus photos, of course, that go inside the albums, because there's so many of them. But there's also additional items that also go with releases that a lot of people have considered a bonus item directly associated with that release, and only because it's a part of that release. All right, it came out the same year. So I thought, anything that's part of you, anything that's part of the release. Okay, so there you go. That's how I came up with that. Okay, so let's start with exactly what is a bonus item. I don't mean to be talking down to anybody, but just in case you just started collecting and you're not completely aware of what that is, a bonus item is mostly a photo that will come inside an album. For example, Spin Out, Speedway, they all kind of came with these bonus photos, and we're gonna take a look at those and kind of examine them one at a time, at least the releases from 56 all the way up to Elvis's death in 1977. And you'll notice when we go through the list of these things in a little bit here that the bonus items seem to increase as Elvis's career went on in the movies. Because as time went by, the more movies he did, the less popular he became, the less records he had that charted, and of course his album sales were not what they were back in the 50s. So RCA then got in this habit of including some type of a bonus picture for you to, put up in your room or whatever, and a lot of people would do that. A bonus item could also be something that is not necessarily a photo. There are things that RCA decided to put inside the records, and when we go through them, you'll see what I'm talking about, that were not necessarily photos or anything like that, but it was something that was important for you to, like a mail-in offer or Sometimes there would be a postcard instead of a photo, or there would be a flyer advertising something else that's coming out. Sometimes bonus items are much more valuable than the record itself. There are some photos that are handed out in the stores, and we'll touch on those as we go through them too. Also, there's other things that would be given away as promotional materials, and most of the time through the record stores in the later years, in the like the 80s after Elvis died. Like there was an album called "I Was the One." Okay, when that album came out, for example, there was a tie. A skinny tie. I think it even says "I Was the One" on the tie. It's like a pink and black tie. And, you could technically say that it's part of that album. All right. So, again, anything that's part of the release is considered a bonus item. At least that's the way I look at it. But that's an example of something that was handed out and a part of a release. And there's several things like that. For example, for the movie Frankie and Johnny, when that movie came out, there was a bonus photo that went inside, which was a painting by June Kelly, who was an artist who did several portraits of Elvis, oil portraits. As a matter of fact, there's one right over my shoulder here, which that happens to be a bonus item. And I thought I'd put that up so that everybody can see that. But that is a portrait by June Kelly. Getting back to Frankie and Johnny, some of those came out where if you flipped it on the back, there was an ad for Frankie and Johnny on the back of that photo, which is normally in the album, was blank. Another example is Burning Love. The photo that came out for Burning Love, when you took it out of the album cover, it had a listing on the back or an advertisement on the back. But the thing about that was there's photos that are blank of that exact same photo. And so there was a run of them with and without the backs. The blank ones were obviously giveaways. They were probably something that the Colonel had put together where he was just sending them out to fan clubs, which he did a lot. So there's all these different variations when it comes to the photos. But when you find stuff like that, especially that Frankie and Johnny with the promo thing on the back, wow. I mean, money-wise, that's up there. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars if you could even find it now. Another rare one is the Girls, Girls, Girls calendar, which came out in '63 with Girls, Girls, Girls. But it was not inside the album. It was given away at the store. And there were two versions. There was a 45 singles listed on the back, and then another back where it was LPs that were listed. And then there was a third one with, I think it was the Colonel dressed up as Santa Claus. And that one, I think, was just specifically sent out to record stores and RCA executives. So if you can find the one with the Santa Claus on the back, wow, another one that's worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars if you could find it. Getting back to the complete package, if it's a bonus item, if it came inside the album, you definitely want it, right? Why wouldn't you not want something that came out around the same time? Something that, like, it's a part of the release in some way. So promotional items, kind of link in like that. And you're going to see some of those coming up here in just a couple moments. This is going to be a list of all the bonus items that I'm aware of, and please excuse me if I happen to miss one or forget one, but I drew most of these actually from memory, and if I miss one, you can always say something about it in the comments, okay? But going through the very first bonus item, it was a card that I showed on the last show, and I'll show another picture of it right now. It's a little baseball card. And it has the cover of the 1254, Elvis's first album, and that card was given away at the record stores when you bought the album. Now, I've heard also that being that it was a giveaway, it was also given away with EPs, because if you remember when the 1254 came out, there were EPs out at the same time. And some of the almost the whole album was released in a couple EPs. 2 or 3. So when you had either bought the EP or the album, you'd get that card. So officially, I would say that card would be the first bonus item, I would say, related to an album. Okay, so the second one is the King Creole bonus photo, which we've talked about before. That's the black and white photo with Elvis in the Army. Now, there was in Gold Records 1, Elvis's Golden Records, there was a flyer in there the flyer comes out, and what it is it's something you fill out, and they would send you these Elvis photos. This is one of those things I mentioned. It's like an item that's a bonus item, and if you're a collector, you definitely want to have that bonus flyer to go inside that record to make it a complete package. Okay, so the next thing is the Girls, Girls, Girls bonus photo calendar, which I talked about, which comes three ways with the LP back, the 45s back, and of course Santa Claus. And then I have some actually ones here that I can show you in just a second. It happened at the World's Fair. Also had a bonus photo. It's a great picture of Elvis. It's kind of a picture of three images of Elvis, and probably one of the first kind of really sharp-looking bonus photos. It was an 8x10, which was easy to frame and everything, and pretty popular photo. But again, this did not come inside the record. It was a handout in the record stores. Now, the next item is the Gold Records 3 bonus book. Now, this was an actual book that, and as we've already talked about this, on the cover of Presleyiana, the latest Presleyiana, there's a picture of Elvis's Gold Records Volume 3, and there's a sticker that says includes the book. This book was handed out in the stores, and the book itself would have several pictures, like a photo book, and in the middle there was a pinup. What's really odd is that book actually came out another way without the pinup. The one with the pinup is the one that you want to go with your albums. This is Kissin' Cousins, and this is the bonus photo that came with Kissin' Cousins. This is a strange bird, because first of all, this photo was not given away in record stores. This one I know very well because I used to work in a movie theater. There was a big sign up on the wall that said, free with a box of popcorn, and there was this picture. So the picture itself was a bonus that was given away with a box of popcorn at the showing of Kissin' Cousins. But the photo was definitely done by RCA. It was a promotional thing. It was not done by MGM or anything like that. Why did he do this? Elvis, why? This is June Kelly's print from Frankie and Johnny. And again, if you look at on both of these things, like look at this one here over my shoulder. That's a June Kelly print. You can see it's the same artist. This larger than regular photo was actually a bonus item that was given away in record stores, and this was given away with Girl Happy. And if you look carefully, the picture is kind of a roustabout from a roustabout picture, but he's wearing the red jacket like he wore in Girl Happy. So it's kind of a weird drawing or painting. But again, this was also a giveaway for Girl Happy. So you can consider that a bonus print. Again, here's another one. This is Spin Out. Much better. They got better than having the harem guy. Then, of course, Clambake, which has got the photo of Elvis and Priscilla, wedding photo. One of my least favorites of all the photos, with all due respect to Priscilla and Elvis. This is the Speedway photo, which is around the same time that this photo came out. It looks very much like it was shot at the same photo session as the Elvis Gold Records 4 photo. If I'm showing a picture of it now, you can see the similarities, but Elvis's hair is the same. It looks like the same kind of set in the background. And also, this is from obviously from 62 or so, or 3. I think this is Girls, 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 around that time period, the photos that they're using here. Now, even when Elvis' career was picking up and things started going better for him, they didn't stop. They still said, okay, all right, here he's got a fantastic album. This is one of his best albums he's ever recorded, which is from Elvis in Memphis. And here you have a bonus photo. And it's a great photo. This is one of my favorite of all the Elvis photos. And it's also from a photo session where he's produced some of the greatest pictures that he's ever shot, where he looks the most handsome, he looks the most sexy and dynamic, whatever you want to say. But again, fantastic photo and a fantastic album. And then as time went by, of course, the records started selling better. So the need for a bonus photo kind of petered out a little bit, and they stopped making them as much. So when we got to like Elvis Country, for example, you'll notice that instead of a big giant picture, they put out a postcard. Okay, and the postcard has Elvis from That's the Way It Is. Here it is, an actual picture from the movie That's the Way It Is. And then if you flip it over to the other side, it's the baby photo of Elvis. And you can see right down here in the corner is the what is that? That's the sticker, okay, that says there's a bonus photo inside. But now this is like 1970, and this is just before That's the Way It Is, I believe, or around that time period. But again, the need for a bonus item wasn't as needed as much. Now, around the same time period, there was From Memphis to Vegas, Vegas to Memphis, which also had 2 bonus photos that came with it. They were black and whites. But the weird thing about that was there were 4 photos. And you didn't know which of the 4 photos you were going to get. So it was kind of weird because if you wanted all 4 photos, you had to buy the album more than once and hope that you get the other 2. But that's how they did it. 4 photos, but you only got 2 at a time with that. There was the box set, which was 50 Worldwide Gold Award hits, which came with a bonus book. Then there was Volume 2, which was a box set, and that came with a cloth swatch, supposedly from Elvis's wardrobe, and then a poster. Then there was this album here, Elvis Sings the Wonderful World of Christmas, okay, which is a cool album. Actually very good for a Christmas album. I like it. And this is one with a sticker, and that's the postcard that comes with it. Burning Love, which, again, now see, this is why they needed that photo, because Burning Love, they put it on a Camden album, which you heard us talk about it. We just don't know why they did this. The Burning Love should have had been a part of a major release. It should have been on the Fool album or something like that. But it was a big hit, and the Camden series was failing. The records of Camden were not selling as well. So again, executive said, hey, I got a great idea. Let's put Burning Love on a Camden album, call it the Burning Love album, throw in a bunch of movie songs, and we'll throw in a bonus photo. And what's funny is the bonus photo actually looks better than the photo that's on the cover of this thing, which is god-awful. But this is the photo I mentioned before that also has a blank back as well as a back with a catalog. We have Separate Ways, which again was the same idea. They said, well, you know what? We have we have another hit song, another 45 that's doing well. We'll give it its own record. We'll make it a Camden, and we'll throw in a bonus postcard. So they put the Burning Love suit, is which we like to call it, and we actually, Carol and I actually know somebody who owns this suit, right, Carol? The Burning Love suit, like wow. And then after that, the bonus items remained, but they started petering out, and I think. Then they started changing. They went through this kind of weird change because, the next time I saw a bonus item was this album, and this came out right after Elvis died. Everybody knows this is Elvis in concert. And if you'll notice, there is a reservation certificate that when the album was announced that it was coming out, you could go to the record store and you would get this certificate or reservation. You'd have to call this a bonus item because it goes with it, So I made sure that when I bought my copy, I had my reservation ticket, and then I bought Elvis in Concert, and I put it with it. And for the collector's box, I thought this was a really kind of interesting idea, what we'll do here, being that we're talking about bonus items. All right, this album, everybody knows, came out in 1968. This is the album Singer Presents Elvis Singing Flaming Star. Okay, that's what this is. But what's fantastic about this, and the reason why it's in the collector's box, is because this is a case where the bonus photo and items blow away the value of the record. This is everything that came with this album. Everything. Now, if you know the story of this album, Singer Sewing Centers was a sponsor for the NBC special. So when you went to Singer Sewing Centers, you would actually find this album on a display. And it was there for sale. I think it was $1.99. And my mom was a seamstress, or she used to do a lot of sewing. And I remember her coming home one day and saying, "You're not going to believe this, but I went to buy some needles for the sewing machine, and the whole store is filled with Elvis." And I'm like, "What?" And bang, I got on my bike and I rode into Blue Island and I went right up to that Singer Sewing Center, which was next to the bank. Walked in and oh my God, there was Elvis stuff everywhere. And a lot of it was giveaway stuff. Like, for example, this is, you'll see there's two of them here, right? Two photos. Oop, that's hard to do. Two photos. This photo here, okay, you'll notice has a Singer Sewing notice at the bottom. It says see Elvis in the NBC special on December 3rd, okay? This is before it aired. So this photo is a photo that came out to advertise the NBC special and was probably handed out directly at the Singer Sewing Centers. This photo here was given away also at the Singer Sewing Centers, but I think even after the special was over. And you'll notice it at the bottom, it does not have the NBC special notice at the very bottom of the photo. Then there was the book. Everybody had to have this. This was the NBC book that advertised all of the stations that were going to be playing the NBC TV special. So it had all the different TV stations and general information about the special itself and when it was going to air. This is really hard to find, folks, and really worth a lot of money if you could find one of these. Probably easy to boot, I hate to say, but this is one of the coolest things. This is almost like a ticket for the NBC special that they gave out. It was right on the counter. I remember because I grabbed everything. And it's just this little notification saying it's coming Tuesday, December 3rd. And then you see all of that information on that side. And then you turn it over here, and there's all the information about the Singer Sewing Center. Now, for those of you who know all about this kind of stuff, there was a second card that's white, and it looks like this, okay, with the same thing on the back, except it advertises the rebroadcast. And then, of course, by this time, it was well known that Elvis was going to be going to Las Vegas, and he was going to have his appearance at the International Hotel. So here's your little card that was also a giveaway, and it has Elvis and the Singer notice on the other side. All these items were at the Singer Sewing Center. I've had a dispute with a few people saying, "Oh no, that card was in Las Vegas." Well, maybe it was, but I got mine at the Singer Sewing Center. So all these items here come with this album, which puts this whole package probably within the realm of, I would say, because it's complete and the record's sealed, $800 or better, okay? It depends. It depends if you want to get all of it at once or you just want to get a piece at a time. But I'll tell you, folks, it took me a long time to get all these pieces, and I'm still missing that last piece. So anyway, that's for the collector's box. Okay, so we're getting towards the end here, but there's a few things I wanted to also include. We were talking about the bonus items being related to the release of the record itself, right? Okay, well, there were some items that were released in Las Vegas, sitting on the tables when you went and saw Elvis, that had to do with the release of an album. When Elvis Country came out, as I showed you before, that it came out with this little card here, right? That has the Elvis, That's the Way It Is on one side and the Baby on the other side, okay? Well, when this album came out, there was this huge promotion in Las Vegas for this album, okay? And if you went and saw Elvis, this was sitting on the table. There were like, 3 or 4 of them just sitting on a table. You could take it home with you. Plus, there were other ones in the souvenir stand. But what's cool about this is it also has Elvis full grown on the other side. Now, this is just like the postcard. It's just like the postcard, except it's an 8x10. So, does this go with the Elvis Country album? In my collection, it does. So, again, the bonus photo, if it goes with it, if it was released with the same time period, it goes with it. So, there you go. That's a cool item. And by the way, try and find one of these. Very hard to find, folks. I mean, I know for a fact I didn't sell one, but I have a friend of mine who sold one for $500 for this photo. But it's so hard to find. Go ahead, look on eBay. Go ahead. See if you can find it. Okay. Now, finally, to wrap things up, like, how long is this going to go on? I mean, how long do the bonus items continue? Well, they're just going to keep going on and on and on, folks. And that's just the truth. And I'm going to give you an example. When I buy a new Elvis album, okay, and something new comes out, and I hear that there's something to promote it, you can bet I'm going to buy it. I'm going to find that bonus item. So as nutso as I am about my collection and wanting it to be complete with all the bonus items that go with it, here's an example. Okay, this is Way Down, which came out, I don't know, a few years ago. Okay, so you say there's a sticker on it, yes, but the sticker doesn't say anything about a bonus item or anything like that. But when it came out, they were giving these away. Way Down fans. I know. Is this stupid or what? It's a Way Down fan. It's fun. But anyway, here it is, Way Down. And then this was being given out at Graceland. Of course, it's hot in August, so you need a fan, right? But that's so cool. They put the album cover on this side, and on this side, it's a promo for Graceland. But does this go with this? Hey, anything that's part of you, right? Anything that's part of that release. All right, and then one more. I'll show you one more thing. And finally, one more release for you here. This is the Elvis International Hotel August 26th release that came out that was at Graceland. And it had, this is on pink and gold vinyl. Well, if you'll notice, there's a little postcard, okay, that I have here that's inside. I put it inside the wrap there so you can see it. But that postcard is separate from the album cover. And again, this was a postcard that was being handed out at the time. Now, it's promoting, actually, I believe, the live box set, which is the 69 box set, okay? And it has 9 CDs in it or whatever. But it also, down below, promotes this record. And it shows you that it's pink and gold, or pink and yellow. So, as far as I'm concerned, again, here is another item that has something associated to the release. So even though it's not a bonus item, it's still a part of that release. And because it is a part of that release, I have it. So, collecting is collecting. I mean, whatever you want to do is fine. If you want to collect stuff and put it with stuff, like we said, we found that sticker last show I told you about, Our Memories of Elvis sticker that we put with Elvis Sings for Children. If it makes you happy, if it went with it, it was a part of it, why not get the complete package? That's it for this show. I want to remind everybody, Sounds Good Records, my business is still in business, and we still are doing business selling Elvis records and memorabilia. And if you want to get a hold of us, you just email me at the address below. You'll see it right here. You can email me with a want list, or if you have any questions or anything about items you're looking for. I do specialize in albums, new and old, and everything Elvis. So don't forget to send me something if you'd like to get in touch with me at that address. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I think I know why I messed it up last time. It says describe. Don't forget to describe. No wonder I screwed that up last show. All right. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below. All right? You do that. All right? So that's the end of another show. Looking forward to having another one. And thank you all for watching. And I'm out of here.